Welcome to the Pressful Conversation Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Layback Corey. We got a special guest in today, man. He ain't just special, man. You know how they say he's the jack of all trades, but this guy not the jack. He's the master of all trades. We're going to talk about this special gentleman, man. He does great things for the Michigan Athletics, the Wayne State Sports Athletics, and he does the Golden Gloves pretty good here in Detroit. And we're going to talk about the U.S., what he does in USA Boxing, and he also do things for the Motor City Cruise and the Detroit Pistons. My main man, Jason, 3Namez. Well, no, let's do it over. My man Keith, 3Namez. Jason, what's up, man?
Man, Corey, I appreciate you having me on. This is great. I wasn't ready for the button to be pushed, but you caught me off guard, but it's all good, man. My name confuses a lot of people because people can't remember, is it Keith, is it Paul, is it Jason? But I summarized it all just by going with the 3Namez moniker that one of my former students, Marcus Coleman, gave me. It was a bad 2 Chainz joke.
Okay.
And so, 2 Chainz, like 2 Chainz. And so people would get my name wrong. And he started yelling out one day, 3Namez. And it just stuck ever since.
That's crazy because I took it as 3Namez because you know how to do you know how to do a lot as far as on the microphone. And you, like I said, you just don't know how to do one thing. You know how to do master of 3 things on the microphone. You do great interviewing, great journalists. You do a lot. So that's why I take it as 3Namez. That's how I take it as.
Well, I appreciate you, man. That's a huge compliment coming from you. But Keith is because my dad was a huge Rolling Stones fan.
Okay.
My mom wouldn't let him name me Mick, so I became Keith as the lead guitar player. Paul was my great-grandfather's middle name, or one of my grandfather's middle names, and he passed right before I was born. And then Jason, because the family's last name was Yashinowski, and nobody could say that. So they shortened it to Jason.
That's crazy. Small world. I had a guy on here named Jazz Watts. He was on here.
Yeah.
And he's a Michigan State alumni.
Yes,
and I said, go blue, Wolverines all day long. I'm a Wolverines fan. Always been. Don't get me wrong, Michigan State, cool, but Ann Arbor, baby. You know what I'm saying? So that's, you know what I'm saying? But besides that, man, how is it, man? Like, how do you schedule, like, days to get ready to do announcements and things of that nature?
I'm blessed to work with some really amazing people in higher ed and college athletics they call the sports information department, and also with the event presentation department. So over at both U of M and Wayne State, they take really good care of me. Really good care of me. From working with programs like Show Flow, which basically is the script and the timing and all of the things that go on in terms of putting on an event in the college space in athletics, to just somebody cueing me as to when it's my time to go. So either I have a headset on or an earpiece in, or have somebody pointing to me, tell me when it's time to go. We usually have a pre-game meeting talking about what we want to do, how we want to make sure we get everything out there to the people, the goals for things, and just make sure that we're prepared and ready to go. And that information is usually available well in advance. And all I got to do is read through it and make sure that I'm on board with everything that is supposed to happen in that game.
When it comes to paying attention, what get your main focus about sports? What catch your eye about the thing of sports?
In terms of why I got involved? So with sports and the things that I do with event presentation, when I was a kid, grew up a Cubs fan because I'm from Illinois. And so with that, we went to a Cubs game, and they had some promotion where, like, they picked maybe 6 people to go watch a game in a box seat. And it was a seat upgrade promotion. And my father and I were picked. And I remember thinking that was just an amazing experience. And I don't remember who won that game, but I remember that I got to watch the game from the box seat. And I had the opportunity to eat all the food and, see all the people and all that. I met Harry Carey on a golf cart and all that. And so that experience stuck out with me. And so with that, it's my goal to be able to provide lifelong memory types of experiences for fans as they are at the game.
Perfect. I respect your craft. A lot started to me, but I respect your craft and what you do, and you got my respect. And I really like what you do for not just for the athletic sports, but what you do for the boxing in the city of Detroit. Like, you go around and you interview some of the fighters, and Detroit boxing needs that. And I want to give a shout out to Tony Harrison. Like, I like Tony, man, and I'm glad that he get a chance to fight at home for the first time at Little Caesars Arena. And to me, it's way overdue. When he won the world title, he really gave motivation to a lot of kids. In this era, you know what I'm saying, in how he won it, you know what I'm saying, he won it, Tony takes pride in helping the kids, and I like Tony Superbad Harrison. That's my guy. The whole Superbad Academy, my guys, I'm not gonna get into what happened this recent and keep that at wraps. But I just want to say thank you, Jason, But tell us, man, how do you prepare for like ring announcing? Because I know ring announcing is totally different than doing the play-by-play and the color commentary. How do you get ready for the ring announcing? Like,
Yeah, with ring announcing, I talked about how on the college front, usually there's a whole lot of information that's given to you. At the amateur level with ring announcing, there's a lot that you got to put together. And so I try to make sure that I show up about 2-3 hours early and have an opportunity to talk to all of the fighters who are participating on the card. I'm a firm believer that names are an announcement to the world of the hopes of the parents or the caregivers or whoever picked the name for the kid. And so it's important to get that right because there's a lot of thought that went into that. So I try to make sure that I have conversations with the kids and with the young men and women who are participating in the card so that I not only know how to say their name right, but I know a little bit about them so that I have some sort of an idea of their flavor and what they're about to bring to the ring. And then try to find a way to match my understanding of them with the energy that I bring for that introduction for them.
Okay, that's a great thing. Like, have you ever thought about doing like a small TV series, like going to each gym and interviewing not only fighters but coaches and just step into the world of their personality and see what they go through every day? It's like a day in the life thing. Have you ever thought about doing that?
Brick by brick. Brick by brick. I started with working with on Instagram as Trilogy Beats 313. That's my guy. And so he is the one who helps me with the quick conversations and getting those started. So with the goal of the quick conversations, it's like 90 seconds to 2-3 minutes. 2-3 questions in and out. But provide an opportunity for people to talk about the dope stuff that they're doing. And so you see me doing that with a lot of boxers. A whole show? Haven't built that out yet.
Okay.
Haven't built that out
But
yet.
That's something that can be in the making. Like,
Brick by brick.
Down the line. So I would like to see you. I would love to see you do ring announcing July 26th at the Little Caesars Arena. That would be dope to see Keith, 3Namez Jason, in the center of the ring, just giving out announcements.
Man, I would love it. It would be a dream come true. It wouldn't be the first time that I've locked out at LCA because I did the EMU and U of M game a few years ago, and the Pistons bring me in for the last 3 years to host a couple of their events that aren't basketball games but are community-centered events there on the arena floor. So it would be like going back to the office in some respects, but never for boxing. And it would be a dream come true to be able to be in the center of that ring on July 26th, especially if it was for Tony's fight, because Tony has been somebody who supported me over the last 5-6 years tremendously. Yes. And Tony is somebody who I really believe in and admire and respect in terms of the work that he is doing in the community, helping those young men and women grow over there through Superbad Academy and training young fighters and helping them become just better human beings because of what they're learning in the ring and how that all translates over. It would be an amazing experience.
Yes, that gym is very family oriented. Yes, and like I said, it's a great thing what Tony does. Nobody can take that away from Tony at all. You know what I'm saying? It's overmatched. But like I said, I definitely love seeing what you do for the Golden Gloves and what you do. Now tell me something, man. Is it very exciting? Because I know you go out when the Golden Gloves. You go with the Detroit Golden Gloves when they go out, right? The people that get that advance, you get to go out with them, correct?
So when the tournament was here, I did the national tournament here.
Oh, okay.
I don't make the trip. Like I didn't make the trip to Oklahoma this year.
Okay.
It's just not something that I was able to do. The other challenge is that tournament is usually at the peak of my 9-to-5 job.
Okay.
A lot of people know me from being on Instagram or being at the sports events, but they don't realize that I do have a 9-to-5 job. So I work at U of M full time and I'm responsible for orientation, and that's around that orientation time every year for about 3,000 students. Well, not 3,000 students, but a learning community of 3,000 students, but about 500 who come in every year.
So give us a background on what steps you had to take to get where you at. Let the people know that's watching the podcast, who is Keith 3Namez Jason, and when did you start throughout your career?
Well, I was on stage for the first time when I was 3 years old. Fell in love with being on the microphone. My parents had a folk rock group. My mother couldn't deliver the syncopation of a particular song, but at 3 years old, I could. It was kind of hip-hop-ish, but it was folk music. And so I did that and just kind of got addicted to being on stage. And so with that, I've been in theater. I've been in church speaking. I've been in politics. I have been motivational speaking. I've been a teacher in college classrooms. And in 2014, I started announcing sports at Ypsilanti Community High. Jazz Watt's father called me and said, "Hey, I remember you said this is something that you want to do. Jazz's football team doesn't have an announcer tonight, would you come and do the game? I said, well, let me check with my wife. She said yes. And at the end of the night, I left with the Ypsi community football, boys basketball, and girls basketball public address announcing jobs.
Oh, wow. Great. See, that's where it all started. So how did you get in the boxing room? Like, how did you get into the boxing, mecca boxing? How did you get involved with USA Boxing?
Well, with boxing first.
Okay. Boxing was first. Okay.
Boxing first, it was, there's a amateur fighter who is a professional now, but one of the most historic amateur careers coming out of the city of Detroit, and Dominique Dalton. And I was there for his pro debut. And there was some conversation afterward about him wanting to go to Eastern Michigan University, which is where I was working at that time.
Okay.
And I was assigned to be Dominique's mentor. And so through working with Dominique, I developed a relationship and a more profound respect for the sport of boxing.
Okay.
And it was actually Dominique who made the phone call and said, hey, I forget who it was at the time that was on the board with Golden Gloves, but can you put Keith in an opportunity to do this? And they did. And so without Dominique, you don't see a lot of the stuff that you see today. So Dominique, man, thank you. And nobody forgot about you. We love you. And they still love you here in the city, man, and I hope all is well.
Oh, yeah, the city can't go. Now, since we talk about the city, where do you see Detroit boxing going in the next few years? Where do you see, what plateau you see is going to take? Like, what leap is going to take in a couple of years? Where do you see it going? Your prediction?
Yeah, when you go to the national tournaments, you're seeing a lot of Detroit boxers excelling at the national tournaments. You have multiple young amateurs who are ranked within the top 10 within USA Boxing at the national level. So I think you're going to start seeing more national titles. I think you're going to start seeing more people turning their attention to what's going on in amateur boxing here in the city. At any time, you can run into a gym where there's 3-4 guys who are top 10 ranked in the country. And so I think that you're going to start to see some of those young amateurs turn pro, and then start to see those pros transition those national championships in the amateurs to world championships in the pros.
I mean, and you're right, because at the Detroit boxing, it seemed like it seemed like the boxing world them to light on us, and for them to, Salido, shout out to Salido Promotions.
Absolutely.
For bringing boxing to Detroit at Little Caesars Arena, and it gives a lot of fighters here hope, because it seems like Detroit, we get swept under the rug a lot, and I don't think that's not, I know for sure it's not fair, because we got a lot of we got good fighters coming out here. They just don't have the push that they need. And like I said, what you do and what Salido do, and a lot of people, what I try to do and try to promote them through radio, TV, and all this stuff, it's a good thing, because they need that. You know what I'm saying? Because Detroit fighters, we come from the mud. Like, we get it. We take it how we take it on the chin, but we also get back up. And that's one thing about the Detroit boxing program I do enjoy. But I like to see guys that's passionate about their craft, and you are one of them. And I see it every time I hear you speak. You speak clearly, you speak thoroughly, you get everybody's name correct. So that lets you know that you do rehearse and you do practice. So tell me, when do you ever get a chance to rehearse the names? There's so many names in boxing. Yeah. And some of them can be hard to pronounce. How do you get prepared for that?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with just being able to see about sheet in advance, and especially at the amateur level. And then when you can't see about sheet in advance, making sure that you're on the move and you're not just sitting down and taking the event in. A lot of times at a national tournament, you got 4 rings going. So we'll break up 2 rings amongst the 2 announcers that are there. And whether it's Ryan and I or anybody else, we're running back and forth, trying to make sure that we talk with the fighters before they get in the ring. Because the last thing I ever want to do is catch a fighter in the ring and say, hey, how do you say your name? When they're thinking about going to war.
Right.
So you want to get all that done beforehand.
Right.
Yep. Right. I don't want to break focus, because boxing is one of those sports where just a quick glance away can make all the difference in the fight.
That's true.
And so I want to make sure that that's the last thing they're worried about.
That's
but
true.
At the same time, I also want them to have that energy and that boost of being able to hear their name pronounced right, clearly, and with a lot of power, getting the crowd excited and getting them motivated too.
Now, when the Nationals was here in Detroit, give us the experience. What type of experience did you gain from being right here in Detroit versus the Nationals?
From
the USA Nationals, I'm sorry, the USA Nationals, because both Nationals came here.
Yeah, well, I was only here for the Golden Gloves. Unfortunately, I
you
caught COVID when in 2023 when they were here.
Well,
and I wasn't able to do it. But
Okay.
with the National Golden Gloves in 2024,
Okay.
the experience was phenomenal because Golden Gloves is different than USA Boxing.
It is.
I mean, it's endorsed by USA Boxing, but at the same time, USA Boxing is usually going to be more of like the 18 and under, more of like the 24 and under. You're not going to see, like you will with Golden Gloves, people who are 27, 28, 30 in most cases. And so being able to see those experienced fighters, being able to see the camaraderie of the team-based approach in Golden Gloves boxing, and also being able to get to know and network with some of the teams from across the country, it helps. It helps because you're learning, you're forming those relationships. So now when I'm with USA Boxing in December for the Nationals, I can go to Coach so-and-so and say, hey, Coach, good to see you again. I said, you got this fighter in about 7 in this ring. Talk to me about who they are, what they're doing, and make sure I know how to say their name right. And we had that conversation, and we catch up, and it's good to be able to do that. And so it also showed me from an actual delivery and a performance perspective that you got to be able to do what you do regardless of whatever goes on around you. Because in any event, there's going to be technical glitches. In any event, there's going to be situations with sound, with audio, and you got to know how to push through that. And so I've learned that through not only those events, but just from being on stage since I've been 3 years old.
Right. So when they had these big fights, like when they had fights like the fight coming up at that Little Caesars Arena, even Carlos at the casino, things of that nature, do you get VIP tickets to the back? Do you ever get in the back and, just fellowship and,
So
do some special, commentating and stuff,
I hear you. VIP tickets? No. Have I received media passes to do interviews?
Yeah, media passes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, media passes.
Yes. And so shout out to Carlos Linus and Clip with everything that he's doing over there. Carlos has been incredibly welcoming and has given me an open door to come in and work with his cards and come talk with the fighters behind the scenes and do quick conversations over there. Dimitri and I haven't developed that relationship, but hopefully July 26th and moving forward, we'll be able to continue to cultivate there.
Oh, that's good, man. Like, man, I feel like this is a great interview right here. This is a great interview. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot just talking to you. Just talking to you, because I get out, but I don't get out as much as I used to. And used to them. I mean, because Detroit boxing has been around it so long. Yeah. And I know everybody, and it's good to see new faces, though. Yeah. Like when I go, like, the new generation. Yep. That's coming. It's a blessing to see that, the new generation, because there's going to be new generations all around. You know? You stay alive and stick around, you're going to see new generations. Yep. Any sport, you know what I'm saying? So, but what's your thought? I'm going to ask you this question, and we going to wrap this up. What you think about the Detroit Pistons, man? What you think about the Pistonians, man? Detroit Pistons.
They've been my favorite team since
they are, man.
88, 89. Oh, I grew up in Illinois, and that was around the era when Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan. Right. But I was still a Pistons fan, even after they started losing to the Bulls. But Dennis Rodman was my all-time favorite basketball player, and I love the Pistons. I love to see the improvement that they've made. I like the direction that they're moving. I'm hoping that these new guys that they're bringing in are able to not only fill in the gaps that have been left by those who left, but be able to carry things further into the future. And hopefully we see maybe a Eastern Conference semifinal or finals berth this year and continue to build and grow and advance, just like they did back in the early 2000s. We saw them go to the Eastern Conference finals, and then the Eastern Conference finals, and then the world title. So hopefully we'll see that similar growth and progression.
All right, man. Like I said, for the people that's out there watching this podcast, how can they get in touch with Mr. 3Namez Jason?
Well, on Instagram, you can find me at 3Namez. So it's literally 3 names, 3Namez. It's the same thing on TikTok, but I really don't do much with that. And then you can find me on Facebook just with my name, Keith P. Jason.
Okay. Well, like I said, thank you for coming in. Keith, 3Namez Jason. We hope to see you many more acolytes, and many more things that you're doing, endeavors. We want to can tell you, the people that's watching the podcast, we really enjoy you coming on the show. So this is the Press for Conversation podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Laidback Corey. Oh, don't be afraid to like, comment, and subscribe. And like I said, make sure you tune into me soon. I'll be around. I ain't hard to find. Peace.
Thank you, Corey.